Lieutenant Aaron Vale had seen many strange places during the war, but Nithraneen was something else. The moon was silent now, but it had once been a battlefield. The air still smelled like burnt metal and old plasma fire. Dead machines and wrecked. Alien towers lay across the black landscape like skeletons of a forgotten age. Aaron stepped out of the transport ship, his boots crunching the ash-covered ground. His face stayed calm, but his mind was alert. He wasn't here for a mission, not exactly. This time he'd been invited. A group of tall alien guards waited for him. Their armor was smooth, a deep violet color with patterns that glowed faintly. They were Valerian insectoid species known for their mental network and strict order. These were the same aliens Aaron had fought just months ago, but now they were supposed to be allies. At least that's what the peace treaty claimed. Lieutenant Vale, one of the guards said, his voice deep and almost robotic. Her Majesty is expecting you. Aaron gave a nod and followed. His hand stayed close to his sidearm, just in case. The palace was nothing like human buildings. It was built inside a crater, made of living crystal that hummed with energy. Strange. Vines climbed the walls, pulsing with light. Everything seemed to breathe around him as they entered the Queen's chamber. The guards stopped. Aaron was left to walk alone across a long, narrow bridge suspended over a glowing pool. At the end stood Queen Salenthra, ruler of the Valari hive worlds. She was tall, 4 delicate arms folded over a flowing robe of dark silk. Her skin was pale lavender, her eyes large and glowing faintly blue. She was beautiful in a way that didn't quite feel human but still graceful, almost regal. Aaron bowed slightly. Your Majesty, he said. Her voice was calm but carried. Power. You came, that is. Good. I wasn't given much of a choice, he replied, keeping his tone respectful. The Alliance wants peace. So do I. That's why I'm here. The Queen studied him for a moment, then took a breath. Human, my daughter needs you. Aaron blinked. I'm sorry, what? She is dying, the Queen said, stepping aside. A hidden doorway slid open behind her, and no one else can save her. Aaron's heartbeat quickened as he turned toward the opening. A soft light spilled from within, and a figure lay on a curved bed shaped from living stone. It was the Princess Kale Ira. Aaron recognized her face. He had seen her once during a rescue operation when he pulled wounded soldiers from a battlefield. She'd been among them not as a captive, but as someone left behind by her own people. She had stared at him, silently, and then passed out. That memory had stayed with him for some reason he never understood. Now she looked pale and fragile. Her breathing was shallow. Her hands twitched every few moments, as if reaching for something in a dream. She was injured during a mission. The Queen explained softly. But it is not the wound that's killing her. It is the disconnection. Her mind is ... lost. Aaron turned to her, confused. What do you mean, disconnection? The Valari are linked, the Queen said, placing one hand over her heart. Our minds are joined in a shared web of thought. But when Kalira was left behind, that link began to break. We brought her home, but she does not respond to us. Anymore? She walked closer, her voice lowering. Yet during her time alone, she formed a link with someone else. With you. Aaron took a step back. That's not possible. I barely saw her. You touched her, the Queen replied. She remembers you, your face, your thoughts. Even now in her dreams, she speaks your name. Aaron looked at the sleeping princess. Her features were soft, so different from the war-hardened image of her mother. He felt uneasy. Why him? What exactly do you want me to do? He asked. Stay, the Queen said. Speak with her. Be near her. Let her mind find yours again. If there is any hope for her recovery, it lies through that connection. Aaron rubbed the back of his neck. I'm a soldier, not a healer. You are human. She said that is what she needs now. There was a long pause. Aaron looked again at Kalira. Her fingers moved gently, brushing the edge of the bed. Her lips parted slightly, and he thought he heard a whisper his name, maybe. He carried on a breath. He stepped closer. She doesn't look like a soldier, he said quietly. She was not. Trained to fight, the Queen said. She was born to lead. But now, Perhaps fate has chosen another path for her. Aaron stood beside the bed and sat down slowly. Kalira's eyes remained closed, but the air around her seemed to shift, as if his presence changed something. He didn't believe in fate. Not really. But something about this felt real. He looked up at the Queen. "I'll try." Once, then turned away. Aaron leaned back, took a breath, and looked at Kalira again. Her lips moved barely. Then her eyes opened. Kalira's eyes opened slowly, but they didn't look directly at Aaron. Her pupils were wide, and she blinked as if trying to remember where she was. Aaron sat very still beside her. He wasn't sure if she was awake fully or just reacting. Her lips moved slightly. He leaned in. "You came back," she whispered. Her voice was dry, barely a sound. Aaron blinked. "Remember me?" Her eyes met his for a second, and then closed again. Her head turned slightly to the side. Before Aaron could speak again, Queen Salanthra returned. 2 guards stood behind her, but they stayed near the entrance. The Queen moved silently and looked at her daughter. "She recognized you," she said softly. "That's the first response we've seen in many cycles." Aaron stood. "So now what? You just want me to sit here and talk to her?" The Queen turned to face him. "More than talk. You must stay near her. Let your thoughts touch hers again. Valari minds are like rivers flowing, connected. When the connection is broken, we lose ourselves." Aaron frowned. "I'm not one." "Of you, I don't have that kind of link." "No," she said. "But during the war, there were ... moments when minds met. On rare occasions, our people and yours found connection not through machines, but through pure experience. Shared pain, shared fear, shared hope." Aaron crossed his arms. "So you're saying she somehow bonded with me in the middle of a battlefield?" The Queen nodded. "Yes, and now you may be the only one who can guide her mind back." Aaron turned to look at Kalira again. Her breathing was steadier now. Her face was peaceful, but her fingers twitched, as if reaching for something that wasn't there. "How long has she been like this?" he asked. Since her return, the Queen said, "She was found alone in the ruins of Sector 8. She had been trying to protect a group of civilians. Valari and human both." Aaron looked at her in surprise. "That wasn't reported, no," the Queen said, "because it would have made her a hero to your kind and a traitor to ours." There was silence. Aaron stared at the floor. "Why? Tell me this now." "Because she chose a different path," the Queen replied. "Not one of war, but of unity. A path you humans value." She walked to a control panel on the wall. A small light glowed, and the air shimmered as a soft hum. "Filled the room. I have told the High Council that she is under recovery. But they are growing impatient. They believe she is lost. Some even think she has been ... changed. Infected by human thought." Aaron narrowed his eyes. "You're saying they might come for her?" The Queen hesitated. "They may decide to end her suffering. Quietly, before word spreads that the royal daughter was touched by a human mind." Aaron's jaw clenched. "So this wasn't just about healing. You brought me here to protect her. She must wake fully before they decide," the Queen said. "And you may be her only chance." Aaron shook his head. "Why me? Why not someone else? A doctor, a diplomat. Someone trained for this, because she remembers you," the Queen said. "Yeah, and memory is the key." Her mind began to change. "After meeting you, now that change must complete, or she will fade." Aaron looked at Kalira again. He remembered her eyes during the battlefield rescue, fear, the silence, but also something else, curiosity. "Trust. I'm not sure I can do this," he said quietly. "You already have," the Queen said. "She opened her eyes when you arrived." There was a long pause. Aaron sat again by Kalira's side. He reached out and gently touched her hand. It was cold, but her fingers curled slightly. "She's strong," Aaron said. "Yes," the Queen replied, "but strength alone cannot bring her back. She must feel something worth returning for." Aaron closed his eyes and spoke softly. "Kalira, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm here. You're not alone. He stayed beside her, talking about the stars, about Earth, about the little things she may have seen in his mind. He told her about a music player he once dropped during training, about the time he saw snow for the first time on Titan Base, about the way human children laughed. As he spoke, something shifted. A small smile appeared on Kalira's face. Then, her voice, barely a whisper, escaped her lips. Snow is cold, but it looks like starlight. Aaron's eyes widened. You're awake. Her eyes opened again, more focused this time. Are we still in war? She asked. He shook his head. No, not now, not here. She blinked slowly. I remember the children. I told them to hide, but then, fire. You saved them, Aaron said gently. That was real. Kalira's breathing was steady now. She looked around slowly, then back at Aaron. You came for me, she said. Aaron gave a small smile. Someone had to. Just then, the Queen's voice echoed behind them. The High Council will not wait long. She does not recover, they will decide her fate. Aaron stood, and we better show them she's still here, that she's still. Kalira, the Queen looked at him with new eyes, less cold, less distant. Perhaps, she said softly, you are more than just human after all. Kalira sat up slowly, her back resting against the curved edge of the crystal bed. Her movements were still weak, but her eyes held focus now. Aaron sat across from her, watching carefully. Her hands trembled slightly as she reached for the cup of warm liquid beside her. Easy, Aaron said, standing to help. You've been out a long time. Kalira looked at him, confused and curious. I feel different. You've been through a lot, Aaron replied, but you're safe now. Kalira looked down at her hands. I remember things. Not from my people, from you. Cold air, music, laughter, children running through snow. Aaron smiled faintly. Those are my memories. You must have picked them up when we first met. But I also remember pain, she said quietly. The screams, the fire, soldiers dying, yours and mine. He nodded slowly. That happened too. The Queen entered the room without a sound, her steps light but full of purpose. She looked at her daughter with calm eyes. You are awake, she said softly. That is a blessing we did not expect. Kalira turned toward her mother. Something inside me has changed. I can feel emotions I never understood before. Fear, sadness, joy. Why? The Queen glanced at Aaron. You've touched the human mind, and it has touched you in return. Kalira looked confused. Is that dangerous? The Queen took a moment before answering. To the Council, yes, they believe such influence is a threat to our traditions. Aaron crossed his arms. That's why they want her gone. The Queen didn't deny it. They believe her connection to humanity will weaken the Valar. They don't see the strength in change. Kalira turned to Aaron. You still fight? For your kind? He hesitated. I used to. Now, I think I fight more for peace than victory. She nodded slowly. Then we are not so different. For the next few days, Kalira continued to recover. Aaron stayed close, answering her questions. About Earth, its cities, its skies, its people. Kalira was fascinated by simple things. Pets, schools, paintings, and jokes. Aaron showed her images from his datapad. She laughed at a photo of a cat knocking over a glass. It was the first time Aaron had heard her laugh. You laugh differently from us, she said. It feels bright light inside the chest. That's what laughter is supposed to feel like, Aaron replied. But not all was peaceful. Late at night, Aaron overheard a quiet conversation between two Valari guards. The generals grow impatient, one said. They think the Queen has been blinded by love. They will act soon. Aaron's stomach turned, returned to Kalira's chamber, and found the Queen already there. I heard them, he said. They're coming, aren't they? The Queen nodded. The Council fears what Kalira is becoming. They believe she's no longer one of us. Kalira stood beside them. Her face was calm, but her voice was strong. Then they are wrong. I am still Valari, but now. I understand humans. 2. Aaron looked at her. That understanding might be the key to peace. But they don't want peace. They want control. Kalira turned to her mother. We must leave, mustn't we? The queen's face tightened. If you stay, they will use destroy you. If you go, they will call you a traitor.
Aaron
Stepped forward. There's a human outpost not far from here. It's a neutral territory. I can take her there. We'll be safe at least for a while. The queen looked at her daughter. You must choose. Stay and face the council, or go and walk a new path with this human beside you. Clara turned to Aaron. Would you protect me if I go with you? He nodded. Yes, I promise. She took a breath. Then I choose to go. The queen moved toward her and held her daughter's face in her hands. Then go with strength. And remember, you carry more than just your blood. You carry hope. That night, Aaron and Kalira slipped away under the cover of darkness. Loyal Valari guard helped them escape through a secret tunnel beneath the palace. The moonlight above, Nithranine was sharp and silver as they boarded a small stealth transport as they flew away. Kalira looked back at the glowing palace shrinking. Behind them, I was born in that place, she whispered. But it no longer feels like home. Aaron sat beside her, hands on the controls. Then we'll find a new one. Kalira turned to him. I feel human thoughts inside me now. Not just yours, but your people's. They care even when they're scared. They fight. Not just for power, but for each other. We never had that. Aaron nodded. Maybe now you will. As they entered space. An alert beeped on the ship's console. A Valari military ship had locked on their signal. They found us. Aaron said, frowning, we might not have much time. Kalira placed a hand gently on his arm. Then we must make every second count. Together, they jumped into hyperspace, 2 lives from different worlds, now running toward an uncertain future and perhaps a new beginning. The small stealth ship dropped out of hyperspace near a dusty outer colony called Outpost Meridian, remote human base, floating just above the border of Valari space. It was once a mining station, now turned into a shelter for refugees and travelers. Aaron guided the ship into the landing bay. As they touched down, he looked at Kalira beside him. She was quiet, staring at the stars through the window. We made it, he said, resting a hand on her shoulder. Kalira gave a small nod, but her mind was elsewhere. I don't feel them anymore. The Valari voices. It's like silence in my head. Aaron stood and helped her up. You're safe here. I can't reach you now. But safety was only temporary. As they walked through the dusty halls of the outpost, Aaron noticed the looks from some humans. They had seen Valari before, mostly during war, and not many were kind to the memory. Kalira kept her hood up, her face hidden. She stayed close, to Aaron's side. A human officer greeted them at the checkpoint. Lieutenant Vale. Yes, Aaron said. We were told you might be coming. You're cleared to stay for now, but we've picked up strange chatter. Valari patrols are active. Near the border, if they cross into human space, Aaron nodded. We'll be gone before that happens. The officer glanced at Kalira but said nothing. Inside the outpost, things felt more peaceful. There were families, traders, wounded soldiers, and alien. Refugees living side by side. Kalira watched them all with wide eyes. They live with so many different kinds of people, she whispered. And yet, they don't fear each other? Not always, Aaron said. Sometimes there's mistrust, but people learn. That's the human way. Kalira smiled slightly. Then I want to learn it too. Over the next few days, Aaron helped Kalira adjust. He taught her how to blend in, how to speak slower, how to avoid drawing attention. She asked questions constantly about food, books, music, and how people fall in love. One evening, she watched 2 human children laugh while chasing a floating toy. I never played when I was young, she said. I was trained. Watched. Groomed to lead, Aaron sat beside her on a bench. What did you want back then? Kalira looked at the stars. I wanted freedom, not to rule, just to choose. Aaron nodded. You're choosing now. That means something. But peace didn't last. 3 days later, an alert went off in the command center. Valari ships had been spotted nearby, far too close for a routine patrol. Aaron was called in. The officer showed him the scans. "They're not here for trade," he said. "They're searching." "For her?" Aaron said. The officer gave a slow nod. "We can't protect her forever, Val. If the Valari accuse us of harboring their royal bloodline, it could spark war again." Aaron left the room with heavy steps. He found Kellerot in the courtyard, speaking with a group of human refugees. She was smiling, truly smiling for the first time. "He hated to break the moment they found us," he said quietly. Kalira's smile faded. "Then we must run again." "Not yet," Aaron said. "It's time we make a stand." She looked at him, unsure. "We don't have an army. We don't need one," he said. "We just need truth and people willing to fight for it." That night, Aaron stood before a group of humans, aliens, and outpost survivors. He explained who Kellera was and why she had come. "She's not a weapon," Aaron said. "She's a chance to end this war before it begins again." The crowd was silent. Then an old engineer stepped forward. "Lost my son in the war. He would have hated this idea. But maybe it's time we tried something different." Others nodded. Slowly, people volunteered to help. They reinforced the outpost shields, converted mining bots into defense drones, linked old communication towers to broadcast across systems. Kalira did her part too, using the last of her mental strength. She reached out not to command, but to speak to the Valari mind web. It was risky. If the council heard her, they might strike at once. But she had to try. She sat in a quiet chamber, surrounded by calming lights, and opened her mind. "I am Kalira, daughter of Salenthra," she thought into the ether. "I do not call for war. I call for understanding. I have walked among the humans. They are not our enemies. They're not perfect, but they are alive and full of choice. I choose peace." Her message spread like ripples in water, soft, steady, undeniable. And then she collapsed. Aaron rushed to her side, catching her before she hit the floor. "I'm okay," she whispered, "just tired." The next morning, scanners picked up something strange. Valari ships were no longer advancing. Instead, they had stopped in orbit. A signal came through. It was short. A warning. The council is divided. Some believe you, others fear you. A final choice is near. Aaron looked at Kellera, who was resting in a medical pod. He knew the storm hadn't passed. But for the first time it had paused. He walked out to the balcony, watching the stars. He whispered to himself, "Maybe, just maybe, we changed something." The sun rose weak and red over Outpost Meridian. Its dull rays lit up the dusty walls and metal towers. The people of the outpost moved quickly, preparing for what might be their last day. Aaron stood on a high platform, looking out across the Ep. Dry land, ships hovered above, and workers were welding defense shields. His face was calm, but his heart beat heavy in his chest. Inside the medical center, Kellera lay resting. Ozzy had pushed herself too hard when she sent her message to the Valari mindweb. Now, she floated inside a soft healing chamber. Her body calm, but her mind still recovering. Aaron stayed by her side every few hours, just watching. Sometimes she spoke in her sleep words in Valari, mixed with English. He didn't understand all of it, but the emotion was clear. Fear, hope, confusion, fight for both of us. She had whispered once, and he would. The alert sirens rang at midday. Valari's ships had arrived. 6 warships circled the outpost from high orbit. They didn't attack, but they didn't leave either. Aaron gathered the leaders of the outpost in the command room. "They're waiting," said. "For what? I don't know. Maybe for orders from their council. Maybe for a sign that Kalira is too weak to resist." The outpost commander, an older woman named Captain Rena, frowned. "We don't have much to fight with. If they attack, we'll fall within an hour." Aaron nodded. "Unless we give them something stronger than weapons." He turned on the broadcast system and walked into the center of the room. The camera scanned his face. He took a deep breath. To the Valari ships above, he said clearly. This is Lieutenant Edos, Aaron Vale of the Human Alliance. But today, I don't speak as a soldier. Speak as someone who believes in peace. He continued, Kalira is alive. She is recovering. She reached out to your minds, and many of you listened. But some still fear her. They fear the change she represents. I say, let that change begin. His voice grew stronger. Attack. You won't just destroy us, you'll destroy your future. Kalira doesn't want war. She wants unity. And I stand with her. Then he ended the transmission. Silence followed. Captain Rena shook her head. Let's hope someone up. There heard you. Hours passed. The ships remained in place. Then, at sunset, one of the Valari warships descended. It landed outside the outpost walls. Its doors opened slowly. Valari warriors marched out fully armed. Aaron stood ready at the gates, surrounded by a few volunteers. His hands were empty, but his eyes were steady. One tall figure stepped forward. His armor was marked with a red crest high rank. I am Commander Olsen, the alien said. The council has not decided, but I have. The girl is a threat. Aaron narrowed his eyes. She's not a threat. She's a bridge. Olsen raised a hand. His soldiers aimed their weapons. Aaron took a step forward. If you attack, you'll have to go through me. Olsen stared at him, confused. You would die for her? Yes, Aaron said. I'm not the only one. Behind him more. People stepped out. Soldiers, engineers, doctors, even children holding homemade flags. Humans and aliens stood together. Not many, but enough to show unity. Olsen hesitated. The soldiers looked uneasy, and then Kalira appeared. She was weak, leaning on a walking stick, but her eyes burned with light. She stood beside Aaron. Commander Olsen, she said, her voice trembling but firm. You fear me because I've changed, because I feel what humans feel. But that is not weakness. Olsen said nothing. I feel sorrow, Kalira said. Feel joy. I feel hope. I want to learn, not conquer. If that is treason to you, then I accept it. Aaron looked at her amazed. Kalira stepped forward. But if there is anyone here who believes our people can be more, then join me. Help me build a future where fear does not rule us. Silence. Then one Valari soldier lowered his weapon. Another followed, and two more. Olsen's eyes widened in disbelief. You fools. Akil raised her hand. They are not fools. They are free. Suddenly, Olsen charged forward, blade in hand. Aaron moved fast. He blocked the strike with a metal rod and pushed Olsen back. They struggled for a moment, then Aaron knocked the blade from the commander's grip. Olsen fell too. His knees defeated. Kalira stepped beside him. Your rule is over. Olsen looked up at her. You have become something else. Yes, she said. And I am not alone. The next day, the Valari ships left peacefully. News spread across systems. Kalira had lived, spoken, and changed. The minds of warriors. Some still saw her as a danger, but many now saw her as a leader, symbol of peace between two races. Aaron stood beside her on the rooftop of the outpost, watching stars appear. You did it, he said. We did it. She replied, placing her hand gently on his. Together. The stars above Outpost Meridian shined brighter than usual that night. Peace had returned, but this time, it was not because of fear or weapons. It had come through choice, through courage, and through something rare between two distant species. Understanding, Kalira stood at the edge of the landing pad, the cool night wind brushing across her face. She was still weak, but her mind was clearer than ever. Behind her, the people of the outpost had gathered. Some still wore armor, others had dust on their faces and tools in their hands. But all of them had hope in their eyes. Aaron stepped beside her, carrying a folded message in his hand. He gave her a small smile. The Valari queen, he said. Your mother. She sent this. Kalira's eyes widened slightly. She's alive. She's in exile, Aaron replied. But safe. The council removed her, but she's still respected by many. She wrote this to you. He handed over the message. Kalira unfolded it carefully. Inside was a simple line, written in Valari script. You are no longer only mine. You belong to both stars now, and I am proud. Lyra closed her eyes for a moment, holding the words close. She understands now, she whispered. She always did, Aaron said. She just couldn't show it. There was silence between them for a while. The wind carried soft laughter from children, nearby human and alien alike, playing under the watchful eyes of both species. Kalira turned to look. Once that sight would have been impossible, she said. Aaron nodded. And now, it's a beginning. Later that day, a meeting was held in the central hall of the outpost. Leaders from nearby colonies, human diplomats, and even a few brave Valari representatives attended. The room was full of quiet tension, but also curiosity. Kalira stood before them all. She wore simple robes, no crown, no armor. Her voice was soft, but each word carried strength. My name is Kalira, she began, daughter of the old queen, once seen as a weapon, then as a mistake. But I am none of those things. She paused. I am a bridge. Some faces looked confused. Others leaned forward, listening. I have lived as Valari. I have felt the strength of the hive, the power of unity. But I have also lived among humans. I have seen the fire of freedom, the beauty of choice, and the strength found in differences. A few heads nodded. You may fear what I've become, but I do not. I am not less Valari because I feel human things. I am not less human because I remember the hive. I am more. And if peace is to be real, we must become more together. A soft wave of quiet passed through the hall, then Aaron stood beside her. She speaks truth, and she's not alone. I've seen both sides of this war. We can keep fighting. We can build something new. One of the human commanders stood. And who will lead this new thing? Who decides? Kalira answered. No one and everyone. We will not rule each other. We will guide, learn, and grow. Together. Short silence followed. Then a Valare elder, his skin faded, eyes wasted. Slowly. We have lost much in war. I have lost family. But today, I see something I never thought possible, and I choose to believe. Others stood too. Slowly, one by one, a new agreement formed, not with force, not with politics, but with hope. That night, Clara and Aaron walked through the outpost gardens. The stars were clear above them. You've done what no one else could, Aaron said. Clara shook her head. We did, he chuckled. You always say that? She stopped walking and looked up. 'Cause it's true. Saved me not just from death, but from being trapped in only one world. You made me feel human, even when I was afraid of it. Aaron was quiet for a moment. Then he looked at her seriously. And you made me believe in something again. She smiled. What's that? Peace, he said. Real peace. Not just silence between wars, but something that lasts. A few days later, Kalira was officially made the first voice between worlds, a title created for her, meaning she would represent both humans and Valari in shared matters. She would not lead like a queen. She would guide like a symbol. Aaron chose to stay with her, not as a soldier, but as an envoy. Together they traveled from colony to colony, bringing the message of peace to those who still held fear. Their bond became legend. Not a fairy tale, but a story of trust, struggle, and choice. One night, years later, they returned to Nithra 9. The battlefield was quiet now, trees growing where metal had. Burned Kalira stood in the same spot where she had once lay dying. I never thought I would come back here, she said. Aaron stood beside her. But look, it's no longer a place of war. It's a place of change. She turned to him. Do you think others like us will follow? He nodded. They already are. She looked at the stars once more. Then we've done our part. Together, they walked forward not as enemies from different species, not even as leaders, but as two souls who chose peace when no one else dared.